A new government report says many smaller government bodies and crown corporations still aren't using specialized cyber defenses, despite being sternly warned about the problem last year. Catherine Tanney has been following this story, and she joins us now from Ottawa with more on all of her reporting. So, Catherine, good morning. What does this report say?
Well, Hillary, the report shows that there are potentially still concerning vulnerabilities in the government cyber defenses, gaps that maybe state-sponsored actors would have their eyes on. So this actually dates back to the summer of 2021. That's when the National Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians, or NCCOP, sent a report to the Prime Minister. And that report showed that crown corporations and smaller departments and agencies are not required to follow the same cyber policies as other government bodies. But that's being said, they're still connected to the larger government network, and potentially, if someone could hack into one of those smaller doors, they could find a backdoor to some of those larger systems where, an incredible amount of important data is stored. Here's David McGuinty. He's the chair of NCCOP, sounding the alarm before a Senate committee earlier this year.
We're of the view that Canada ought to up its game as a federal government. There's a lot of material here at risk. A lot of Canadians' personal data, military information, plans. This is national security, writ large.
Now, that's why he and others on his committee recommended that all federal entities use the sensors on offer by the Communications Security Establishment. But CSE's own figures show that that is not the case. According to its annual report, which just came out recently, it says that less than half of all Crown Corps and small departments have signed on to use its high-tech sensors to be looking out for potentially state-sponsored hacks and other hacks as well. Now, we reached out to the Treasury Board. It said it does encourage Crown Corps and smaller departments and agencies to use that system, but ultimately those departments and agencies are, they're responsible for their own cyber decisions.
So, Catherine, of course, you mentioned their NCCOP, the Intelligence Committee, and this is not the first time, the only recent time even, that some of their recommendations have sat on the shelf and not been followed up on.
Yeah, so, back in 2019, they put out a report that urged the federal government to take the issue of foreign interference more seriously. Again, 2019, they put that report out, and they didn't even receive a response from this government until earlier this year when, the media jumped on the story and it became kind of the scandal and the big story that it is. And even the Prime Minister has acknowledged that he has to do a better job at listening to this committee, a committee that he set up, of course, made up of MPs and senators from all different stripes who are looking at intelligence and security matters. So, this is all a bit troubling. You take that old report, the foreign interference one, the cyber report, and you put it in the context that, of course, this committee has been asked and said yes, that they would review these allegations of Chinese meddling in the 2019 and 2021 elections.
Okay, Catherine, thank you for this. We appreciate the reporting there. Catherine Tanney for us in Ottawa.